All right, cool. It transitioned. Okay, sick. No volume yet. Maybe we're turned down. Check. Okay. All right, cool. We got audio. All right. Sorry for the delay, everybody. Western Mass, good to see you. Baby Sharp, good to no, I'm just kidding. Larry, good to see you, man. Kiwi, what's up, brother? All right, guys. So today is a little bit different of an episode here. So recently, as many of you heard, Dana White is now on the board to Meta. And, so I was like, damn, that's pretty interesting. So I'm like, as soon as I heard about it, I was like, shit, we got to talk about it. Well, then I get to actually diving into everything. And, man, talk about a web of shit. This thing is deep. And so this is probably going to be like a part 1 of 2, possibly 3. This is going to be the iceberg. So what we're going to get into on this episode tonight is basically the background of Dana White, the background of UFC, how it came to be, and then we've got to learn about some key players that start coming into the game here, which even just in the last, like, not even 12 months has had a big impact on UFC as far as like the back end, the business side of things. So a couple of these names and people and stuff, you might at first wonder like why are we hearing about this? But at the very end of it, it all clicks together. And like I said, we're just gonna basically touch the tip of the iceberg here. And then if you guys are interested in more of it, because I promise you, I've got like the boards of directors, what they've represented, what they stand for, and what I can tell you is just a teaser is we have people now on the board of the company that owns the UFC who like come from the Obama administration, deep White House, deep state people. So it's actually, like I said, it is a web. Okay. But we're not going to get into all that on this, but we will get into some names of companies and stuff. One other thing is I was trying to make this like a presentation PowerPoint thing that would just share on the screen. So I do this PowerPoint for literally all fucking day. And like last night, I've been on this for literally ever since I said I was going to do it. And then as I get this all done, I got to upload it on here. And then I've got to upload it like slide by slide. And like that was going to take another like half hour. So we're not going to touch that. TT says, we getting schizo? Nah, brother, this is actually pretty well laid out, if I do say so myself. But you'll see though, like, so what does this mean for UFC? With Dana White joining the board of Meta just a couple days ago, and all that jazz. We are going to have something to look at though. I don't know if you guys will be able to see it too well, but it's still going to be on the screen. Okay, so I don't know if you can see all this or not, but this is a 25 slide PowerPoint. And we're just kind of going to go over some stuff here. Like I said, I've got additional notes or whatnot. But again, this is going to be the background of essentially the UFC, how we've come into the modern era of UFC, and then what the UFC has turned into in just the last couple of years and where it's going. So buckle up. You know what I mean? We're going to start here, though. This is Dana White. This is his high school photo. It says, if John Jones got locked inside of a room with anyone, and I mean anyone, John Jones walks out of that room. That was quoted in his high school. Now, before I did all this research, if you would have told me, or rather, if you would have shown me this picture, I would have said, that's AI. That's fake. But honestly, in doing the research on this, Dana is he can see into the future. So I bet that's a real quote. No. Okay. All right. So timeline, we're going to go by timeline here. It's the late 80s, early 90s. Dana White went to high school with a guy named Lorenzo Fertitta. If you haven't known that name will make a big deal here in a little bit. And this is kind of one of those things where Dana White really just kind of right place, right time his whole life. Pretty crazy stuff. Okay, so during this time, Dana meets Lorenzo in high school. And again, this would prove to be an important relationship more than a decade later. Okay. Now, sometime after high school, many of you guys probably know this. He gets into like a debt with Whitey Bulger, a gangster mafia guy in the New England area. He says he gets a phone call. What's up, Lane? Good to see you. He says he gets a phone call from one of the gangsters saying, like, hey, you got until 1 p.m. tomorrow to pay us. So Dana says he hung up the phone immediately, called Delta, got a plane ticket, and flew out to Vegas. Okay, so that's the late 80s, early 90s. And now we're going to move to 1993. Two guys named Art Davies and Rorion Gracie. Many of us know the Gracie name. This is one of those guys in that name. Anyways, okay, so 1993, influenced by a Brazilian form of MMA known as Valtudo, which means anything goes in Brazilian. Good to see you, Pepino. UFC was founded by Art Davie and Rorion Gracie. The intent was to find out which form of martial arts was truly the best, and they didn't have any huge plans. It was really like a one-night tournament type deal, okay? But it grew quickly. But the first event was held November 12th, 1993 in Denver, Colorado at McNichol Sports Arena. And Gracie won the whole event. He submitted everybody all 3 times. And TT said, why would you go to Vegas to hide from the mob? That's a great question. But he goes from Vegas to California, and not that I touch on it too much, but he's involved in boxercising. I'm not shitting you, boxercising. So it's like a boxing exercise thing. And that takes him to California, okay? But so now we're getting into the UFC being created, and here's a picture of the tournament winner here. Submitted all 3 of his guys, okay? So it's 1995. A group called the Semaphore Entertainment Group. Hey, Pepino, I see you on Kick, and I got the Kick chat up today. So fucking let's go. Level 3, I see you, dude. But Semaphore Entertainment Group, led by a guy named Bob Merowitz, purchased the UFC from Art and Gracie's Wow Promotions. So that's what they called their thing when they had UFC going, and they had it from 93 to 95. You see, this says, with these fires being 20 miles away from Vegas, is 311 in jeopardy? Not a chance, dude. Not a chance. I'm telling, not a chance, dude. Appreciate you, dude. Okay, so zooming through the 90s, we're into the late 90s, early 2000s now. Okay, so we'll talk about this boxer size a little bit. But so a decade plus later, Dana White is at a wedding, bumps into the Fertitta brothers, rekindling a friendship that they had back from high school. Okay, so this is again just another fate just working out. Okay, so he bumps into these guys, and Dana at this time is doing a boxer size training under a guy named John Lewis, who fought at UFC 22 and 28. Through this, he eventually meets Tito Ortiz and Chuck Liddell and becomes their managers. So while he's managing Tito and Chuck in this UFC realm, he hears that Bob wants to sell the UFC. So in the same time period, and then knowing that he's reestablished this connection back with the Fertitta brothers, he knows who to call. And at that time, and this is what I'm talking about, fate, man. Lorenzo Fertitta had founded what was called Station Casinos and was the former commissioner of the Nevada State Athletic Commission. So the dude was already very well breaded up, already had it. So when Dana reaches out to them, the Fertitta brothers put up $2 million under what they call Zuffa, and they bought the UFC. And the lore behind it was, when they bought it, it was literally just the company name UFC, and they got one rinky-dink busted-ass octagon. But that was the start of the Zuffa era. And when they made the purchase, Dana White was then installed as the president and got a stake in the UFC. So this was the beginning of the Dana White empire, because he's worth $500 million now. Pretty crazy. So 2001, and this is again just, we're going to mention some names and stuff throughout this just to kind of show you, like, kind of goes back to it's a big club and you aren't in it. This is one of those. So the first UFC card under Dana White's presidency takes place at the Trump Taj Mahal. And his fighter that he was managing, Tito Ortiz, defeats Evan Tanner by a knockout 32 seconds in round one. What's up, DK? Good to see everybody in here. I hope you guys dig this, though, because this is very interesting. But yeah, there's a good look at Tito way back in the day, 2001. Gets a 32-second knockout. Okay, so we fast forward a little bit. 2008, UFC is now valued at $1.1 billion. So this is a company that they paid $2 million for. 7 years later, it's worth over $1 billion. That's fucking insane. So when you hear the praise of Dana White, because he's really been the controlling guy of this whole UFC operation, when you hear the praise of his business prowess, what's up, Lane? I see you on Kick too. It's not, they're not blowing smoke. He's really done something crazy. 2008, and they're $1 billion company. So now we're going to move to 2010. A company called Flash Entertainment, who is wholly owned subsidiary of the government of the Emirate of Abu Dhabi, buys the 10% stake of Zuffa, and this was reported to be a sale between $150 to $175 million. While I take a drink, just remember that number. And so this was also the start of the Emirates Saudi Arabian money. So this started in 2010. So they buy it for 150 to 175 million. When they bought that 10% stake, Dana White still had his 9%, and the Fertitta brothers had 40.5% equally. So the first ever event held in Abu Dhabi was the UFC 112. That was supposed to see Anderson Silva fight Chael Sonnen, but ended up being Damian Maia, where Silva won by unanimous decision. And then the co-main between Frankie Edgar beating BJ Penn, and this was controversial. And I will say, if you don't know BJ Penn fights and shit like that, probably not the one to watch, because it's not their best. I'll just put it that way. But so Frankie Edgar gets a controversial decision win over the then champion BJ Penn. But that company was called Flash Entertainment. So now that's 2010. And now we're going to get acquainted with the real industry sharks that are behind the scenes that none of us have heard of. So May 2012, a company called Silver Lake acquires 31% minority stake in a company called William Morris Endeavor. William Morris was previously known as the William Morris Agency, and then they merged with Endeavor and became William Morris Endeavor, or WME. Silver Lake is a global technology investment firm with $103 billion in combined assets under management and committed capital, based in North America, Europe, and Asia. Okay, so this is a very big company. And again, in the beginning, I said to some of these places and people and things, you're going to say, like, why are we learning about this? But just hang on to these nuggets. So WME is the entertainment and sports industry talent agency of 2012, okay? And like, this isn't like the craziest list, but just to put some names on there, like they were representing Matt Damon, Serena Williams, Novak Djokovic, and then a shit ton. I'm talking a shit ton of other people, and just like really like A-list shit in like every category. Okay, so this is like a big deal company here. 2012. Okay, so then in December 2013, yo, DK, what's up, brother? I see you on Kick. WME and Silver Lake acquire a company called IMG. That's our logo there. So at the time, IMG was managing athletes, fashion celebrities. They owned and operated commercially represented live events, independent producer and distributor of sports and entertainment media. So they were another huge conglomerate that was behind the scenes. I'm not quite sure, DK, but could be. We'll get to that. Because I can kind of, like, now that I've done this deep dive on it, I can see I can see why power slap's a thing. I'll say that. Continuing on though. So again, some of these are like, why are we listening? But it all comes together. We're following the breadcrumbs real quick, okay? So here's the start of a new era in UFC, okay? July 2015, the Reebok. Okay, hold on. Stand by. If you can hear me, I'll just hold up the finger. We must be getting on something juicy. All right, I'm just literally just saying random shit into the microphone. You guys let me know when you can hear me. I'm gonna pull up the stream on Kick myself to see if I can see if it's working myself. Okay, we're back. Okay, cool. Sorry, I was just literally just blabbing. Okay, we're good. All right. So fighters with 1 to 5 bouts in the UFC got $2,500 per fight. Again, 1 to 5 fights in the UFC, $2,500. Well, no, it all comes back, man. This is this is they went through this, so this isn't a bash on them whatsoever. So $2,500 1 to 5 bouts, 6 to 10 was $5,000, 11 to 15 was 10 grand, 6 to 20 was 15, 21 bouts or more was 20 grand, 21 fights in the UFC would get you $20,000. That's fucking nuts. Now, if you were a champion, you received 40. Challengers to a championship belt received 30. July 2015 was also the same month that USADA and UFC partnership began. So that was a big month, okay? Now we're kind of all over the place, but everything it's going to snap together, okay? Now, late 2015, September, WMEIMG acquires Miss Universe America Teen USA beauty pageants from Donald Trump. If it's skipping again, let me know. So this was just side caveat. If you guys remember, this was the year that Steve Harvey announced the wrong winner for Miss America. Okay, so now I'm wondering if that was literally all just a publicity stunt to like maybe just get more eyes and more people on the pageants, you know what I'm saying? Because this would just raise stock and shit for him. So I think this is more a publicity move of the ultra S tier stuff. Okay. But around that same time, groundbreaking begins on the much loved Vegas headquarters, which includes the PI and the Apex. So 2015 is when we started getting that beauty. Move ahead 1 year later. This is where we start getting the meeting up of everything that we've been dropping out here. So July 2016, Zuffa is sold to a group of investors led by that WMEIMG for $4.2025 billion. The main financial backers to this acquisition were companies called Silver Lake and KKR. So we got that there. Dana still maintained his stake and role as president for UFC. This is where we get Ari Emanuel and Patrick Witzel introduced to the UFC brand. And if you guys are like super entrenched in UFC, this Ari Emanuel name you know of. Okay. So October 2017, WME IMG renames their name to Endeavor. At this time, Silver Lake owns 71% of Endeavor, making them majority, of the WME, which went to Endeavor, making them majority owner. Okay. These are the guys who are making their acquisitions, right? So Ari Emanuel is named the CEO and Patrick Witzel moves to the executive chairman. 2018, Flash Entertainment sells that 10% ownership of Zuffa to Endeavor for $150 to $175 million. So earlier I said, remember that number. Flash Entertainment reportedly made $0 on this sale. What a win for Endeavor, basically. You know what I mean? But so 2018, this is when the Disney ESPN deal begins. And then again, random name, but you'll see it all. This is the club, right? Same time Elon Musk uses Silver Lake and Goldman Sachs to take Tesla private. So you see how this is just kind of a thing here, right? So in 2019, Dana White signs a 7-year contract to remain the president of the UFC. His contract is up for negotiation or ends in 2026. So, earlier, DK, when you said, is it shutting down? Dude, okay, I'm glad you guys like it. Let's go, dudes. But DK, when you said, is Dana White going to full sell out now? I don't know if it's a full sellout versus is he kind of planning for this 2026 departure, or is he going to stay on and, get a shit ton of money to do it? We'll see, though. So he signs that contract. In 2020, again, Silver Lake here invests $1 billion into Twitter. This is that starting to be the takeover for the Twitter thing. And again, this is that revolving door of just that small club, right? So then co-CEO and managing director of Silver Lake, Egon Durbin, who is now the CEO of Silver Lake, was also on the board of Twitter when Silver Lake invested that $1 billion into Twitter. And Lane, he's definitely about that money. I mean, genius businessman. Like I want to learn more about Dana White because, I mean, how the hell does he just stumble? I mean, just talk about fucking just in the right place, the right time, every time with the right fucking people, right? You know what I'm saying? Kiwi says he will hang on until his presidential campaign. Well, excuse me. Well, they've been together for 20 years and I could see it, dude. DK says it's all connected. Facts, dude. Sleuth says, what's up, gang? Something trippy is going on here. It could be, man. It could be. So continuing on our timeline, though, so it's 2021. This is the end of the Reebok era, the beginning of the Venom era. Now, the Venom era continues on till 2029, and in which case they're either going to keep that going or go with somebody else. Same year, and this is important, the same year, Endeavor goes public on New York Stock Exchange as EDR. Now, if you were in the Discord, I kind of mentioned this. Now, again, I will preface this. This is not financial advice whatsoever. I'm not giving that whatsoever. This is just me saying words. But Endeavor is EDR, okay? And at the tail end of this, we'll talk on this more. But right now, they're trading at around $30 per share, which is fucking nuts. Okay, that's all I'm saying, dude. Sleuth says, I don't know how anyone can trust Zuck, though. The censorship during the 2020 election was crazy. Rip mess streams. Facts. Kiwi says, I have EDR shares. Dude, fucking W Kiwi Brew. What a dog. Look at him. That is the move, guys. Now, again, I'm not telling you that, not financial advice. I'm just saying that hypothetically is the move. DK says the fact that they have ties to Elon and Zuck is sketchy as fuck. Zuck censored so much info. Musk is a shill. Damn Dana. Well, here's the thing too: is now supposedly on Facebook and Instagram, you can criticize the LGBTQ community. Well, I said that without a stutter that time. That was pretty sick. So maybe the Overton window has moved so much that they're starting to go back. Slew says, what's the market cap? That's what really matters. The shares can always be diluted. Kiwi says, got them at 26. Kiwi's already making money. And I'll get into my speculation on quite a few shareholders here. And these are the companies to pay attention to. But I'm going to stay really almost focused here, guys. Didn't mean to get sidetracked there. Okay, so it's 2021. Reebok era ends. Venom era comes in. Endeavor goes public. Kiwi knows who I'm talking about. At this time, Endeavor buys out all Zuffa shareholders. Okay, so originally they only owned 10%. 2021, Endeavor buys out all shareholders. This was a $1.7 billion buyout. At the same time, a Washington insider named Ursula Burns joins the board. Now, I'm not going to get into the boards and shit like that unless you guys want that on the part 2. But that is the shit where I'm just like, holy shit. Like, dude, it's crazy. Okay. But also at that time on 2021, a woman named Fawn Weaver and Elon Musk were added to the Endeavor's board of directors. So again, small club here, right? Lane says Zuck def sketchy as fuck. Don't agree with you on Elon though. Sleuth says Elon censoring H1B debate facts on X. Big time, Sleuth. Pepino says long-term options better. We'll get into it, guys. Now, again, it's all speculation on my part, but if you've been following this, and if I do a part 2, you'll really see it. I'm talking like you'll see it. You'll see it. Larry says, I can literally feel my entire bloodline chanting my name when I put my entire paycheck on 2 random WMA prelim fights. Let's fucking go. Leslie says, if you want to get crushed by Theta Decay, that's fucking funny. Okay, so the year is 2022. Dana White becomes co-owner of Thrill One Sports and Entertainment. That's Nitro Circus, Nitro Cross, Street League Skateboarding. So this is post him signing the contract that he's got, 7 years left. So he's already starting to build an out. Almost. It could be, or just something just in case, right? So he becomes co-owner, and Musk resigns from the Endeavor board. So that was probably like just a whole play for public perception and shit. And I went into that a little bit, but Elon Musk with these companies wasn't the focus of my study here. You know what I'm saying? So 2023, Power Slap debuts on TBS. TBS decides not to renew the contract. April of 2023, WWE, World Wrestling Entertainment. Oh, dude, you see this level 5. You see, it says, we all know Elon is a Jewish pawn. You should see how many creators he demonetized on X, New World Order. Basically, like all of them, a shit ton. A lot of people that I'd see, not necessarily follow, but I'd see their stuff, or people that I follow them. It's pretty crazy. Just crack the whip on them just like that. But congratulations on level 5, dude. That's sick as shit. Dubs. I don't have any sound clips because I'm sharing this. But TT says Elon's entire life is a lie. I don't know how you could trust him. And he is pulling ahead. Elon's an interesting character. I haven't done the deepest of dives on him yet, but it really sparks a curiosity just having this come up. Okay. But so January, Power Slap debuts on TBS. They decide not to renew it, but Dana has his ways, right? And Dana White does own Power Slap. But April of 2023, WWE, World Wrestling Entertainment, and Endeavor, who owns 100% of Zuffa, who owns the UFC, merged to form TKO Group Holdings. Okay. So This begins in April. September 2023, it's finalized. When it's all said and done, the smoke clears. Endeavor UFC owns 51% of this new group called TKO, which is the merger of WWE and UFC, right? UFC Endeavor owns 51%. WWE has 49%. Dana White retains CEO and president of UFC. Vince McMahon is the executive chairman of the entire group holdings TKO. Ari Emanuel is the CEO of TKO. Mark Shapiro is the president and chief operating officer of TKO. And Nick Khan is the president of WWE. So now you see where this, they're all in this as owners, basically, right here. Catching up. DK says Elon been around Epstein and Ghislaine at them parties. He got a lot of satanic symbolism. He's a billionaire wanting to install a chip in your body. Who knows? But I don't trust him. Yeah, I mean, it's a lot of good cop, bad cop. Two heads, one belly. You know what I mean? Slew says, check out The Broken State of Power Slap by Mark Fighting. It's all a fraud. Okay, I will check it out because I haven't really watched Power Slap. But this interested me. DK says, facts, Elon life is a whole sham. He's not even a genius inventor like he claims to be. It's all a front. I've been hearing that a lot. What's up, Grimy? Good to see you, brother. Lane says Musk 100% had nothing to do with Epstein or Ghislaine. Facts. DK says this is legit receipts. W Baby Shark following the trail. Appreciate you, brother. And it goes way deeper. I had to just break this down to, we're just touching the tip of the iceberg. Just the tips. You know what I'm saying? Just the tips. DK says there's photos of them together. I don't know if he did anything, but we will never know. Facts. Slew says, yeah, he just wants to import cheap labor. He showed his true colors, censoring H1B1 debates, deleting factual posts, removing verifications, banned users. Big facts, dude. It really showed, and and he's proud of it too, which, again, I won't make this an Elon stream, but he likes having that power over it. And if he could get X to be the app that he wants X to be, which is like a literal everything app, it ultimate power move. Just like little side note, SpaceX, which is Elon Musk's, is going to be where it's at. It's going to become basically a state-owned area, federal state-owned area. So when that happens, then that's our tax dollars taking care of all the SpaceX, everything. You know what I'm saying? So like, they're totally going to fucking play us. Okay, that's coming hot. Larry says, my mom hit me with the be careful, there are racists online today. Just stared at her. Lane says, Epstein list about to be released after Trump takes office. That would be sick, but we'll see. TT says there's a photo of Elon, Ghislaine, and Neil deGrasse Tyson. What a weird group that would be. Lane says Elon wouldn't be any part of this cabinet if he had been involved. True, there's a lot of stuff on it, and I'm so skeptical, but I'm watching from like the distance, and man, I really hope they come through on what a lot of shit is being said. Larry says betting odds for the Epstein list names would go crazy. I'm sure they're out there. Grimy says DK, Larry, Sleuth, Pep, you see this, let's fucking go. Everybody, facts, dude. Ready to watch some fights this weekend with y'all. Pick him doing shorts on his live for his birthday this weekend. Oh, that's sick, dude. Happy early birthday. Yeah, dude. Hey, 1942. Let's go, dude. Okay, so we're coming up on where we're at now, though. So we've talked about Silver Lake taking Tesla private, working with Elon on the board. These businesses buying. What's up, Torrin? Good to see you, man. These businesses buying major businesses from Trump, UFC somehow getting their first event under Dana White at the Trump Taj Mahal, which was just a casino, but crazy. But so 2024, Silver Lake offers $27.50 per share in cash, which was $13 billion to take Endeavor private. So they do that, take them private. Now Silver Lake becomes like I wrote it down. Yeah, Silver Lake is now a 71% owner of Endeavor. Now this is like a big web of companies here. But so basically, You've got Endeavor, who is over TKO. So what's crazy? So what I just looked at the prices earlier today. The fucking TKO is like $140 a share, and EDR fucking Endeavor was 30 some dollars a share, which is crazy because Endeavor is the top dog of this whole chain here. Now, they've got all these sister companies that they buy and sell from all the time to move money and all this extra shit, and that's common in business. But so at the very top, it's Endeavor, then it's TKO, WWE, UFC, and now it's Silver Lake, though, at the very top. They own Endeavor. Now, I would imagine that their whole goal is to keep a product that makes the type of money that the UFC does. So when we think of like, what's the future of UFC? Okay. Is the UFC cooked? I don't think so. Okay. I don't think it's cooked from the aspect of it will go away. Do I think it will get way more commercialized? Hell yeah. And we'll get into the next slide, which is the meta join up and what I think the whole meta join up is all about. But let me catch up with you guys real quick. Let me catch up. Yeah, happy birthday, Pick'em. Yeah, not too high for this conspiracy theory. I feel it, dude. It is crazy though, dude. But this, so when we talk about these stock prices, man, TKO versus Endeavor, even versus like WME and IMG, because they're still operating even though they're owned, and these are all subsidiaries at the very top of Silver Lake, who's bought all this shit up. Okay, and this is basically why we have such a big Saudi deal around all sports, because these guys at the top own all the sports. I'm talking, if I got into the list of what all these guys owned, I mean, it goes down to city football in England, to Australian football, to fucking baseball teams, basketball teams, the UFC, bull riding, monster truck, you fucking name it. They have their hand in it like a motherfucker. 2 hands way deep, elbows deep, fucking way deep. But that's it, dude. Yeah, roll one and listen up. Let's go, dude. Torrance says apparently Tony Ferguson next fight will not be in the UFC. He's supposed to be signing with some new MMA organization called GFL, Grandpa Fight League. Dude, I've been saying that same shit about GFL, but that is facts. He is signing with them. Grammy says, just got home from work and smoked a fatty. Dubs. LOL. Got a shitty grin watching this. Let's go. You're never high enough. Allegedly. Slew says, you ever seen Ian Carroll video on the UFC? It's mind-blowing. I probably have, but I need to rewatch it. But yes, I'm pretty sure I have. But man, I've been on a deep dive on this. Like I like stopped reading all my other books and everything and just got to researching. Hey, congratulations, Lane, level 4. Dude, I want to play the X-Files sound so bad, but I had to share this screen. I usually share my soundboard screen in the background underneath everything. So no sounds today. But what I can do is that's pretty spooky. Let's go. Lane says catching up. Facts. Eddie Bravo voice, you gotta look into it. Does Sharp have a PowerPoint? Yeah, I do, dude. Bottom line, who should I buy stock in? So I can't tell you who you should, but just to say what I'm doing is I will be buying EDR stock, Endeavor stock. TKO is the company that holds UFC and WWE technically, but Endeavor's there, and then Silver Lake is a private equity firm, so you can't invest in them. So the next one down is Endeavor, and it's literally only $30. So just saying, for me, that's where I'm going. Fuck crypto, dude. Fuck crypto, because if you love UFC, I'm just saying, you know what I'm saying? DK says, yeah, bro, he's done his research digging into the trail. Let's go, dude. Graphs and charts. Yes, sir. EDR to the moon. Send it. Lane said, need pointers and whiteboard for this. Dude, I was like this close to doing it. I almost printed out these people's pictures and was just going to be like, and this is bop, bop, bop. And whoody, whoop, whoop, whoop. But I got this together, so it worked out. Yeah, it would have been funny if I just had like all the strings tied together. I could have gone full skizzo on this. And honestly, I owed you guys that. I owe you guys better. If I do a part 2, I'll come prepared. I mean, honestly, Torrin, I mean, I just don't want to see Ferguson get beat up anymore. It'd be sick if he got like just a color commentary spot. The shit he would say, it should be pretty good though. Larry says, "Hello, COVID had NGAs so shook that when you sneeze, they wouldn't even say bless you. They just look at you like Wanderley Silva and Crow caught face." Crime says, "EDR got it, kids. College fun on EDR and this weekend WMA fights. Let's go." Coughing in public during COVID could get you beat the fuck up. Dude, what a time. What a time. Okay, so that's 2004. So just to recap that real quick, this slide. We now know that Silver Lake is a large majority share owner of Endeavor, who owns TKO, who owns WWE and UFC, and I'm talking fucking everything else. They own the WME, IMG, and it goes fucking out there. Okay. But let's move to 2005. Dana White is tapped, and it's just funny that all the news sources use that word, so I made sure to use it too. But if you're on some conspiracy shit, that is conspiracy shit right there. That's like that. I mean, it's not conspiracy. That's like affirming conspiracy. You know what I'm saying? But Dana White is tapped to join the board of directors for Meta. And this is a quote from Zuckerberg. And this is where I think it ties into UFC, and going to kind of speculate on what I think this means for future UFC. So Zuckerberg says Dana will add a depth of expertise and perspective that will help us tackle the massive opportunities ahead with AI, wearables, and the future of human connection. Okay, so that's the end of my presentation. That's my last slide. We're going to go back to the thing here. Oh, Nelly, we're back home. Okay, so what is my speculation? My final thought on is the UFC cooked? No, I don't think the UFC is cooked. What do I think we could see going forward? Is honestly, if you guys remember that one fight, what's up, Shashwat? Good to see you, man. Lane says Dana is not the brains, but any stretch of the imagination. I don't know, Lane. I don't know. Like, he's not the brains of the Meta operation, but Dana is a smart dude, and being in the right place at the right time. Grimy says it's down right now to 30.01 a share. That's what I'm saying, dude. Like, I seen that and was like, that makes no sense, because Endeavor is the driving force. Like, that's their main gun. You know what I mean? Everything else is just like sidearm. The main arm for Silver Lake is Endeavor. That's their main purse. Slew says only one National Football League team has an ownership structure that resembles a publicly traded company, the Green Bay Packers, who are the 12th most valuable NFL franchise at $6.3 billion. That's a shit ton of money. But yeah, I love the price of the EDR right now, man. Long term, because, you know, I'm a fan of UFC. I have been my whole life, basically. I probably will be, you know, for the rest of my life, I'd imagine, unless they do some like super lame shit. So, like, if you believe in a product, you should invest in that product. And just to put that in perspective, every pay-per-view costs, let's just for numbers' sake, say $90. You could buy 3 shares of pay-per-view of Endeavor right now at that price. That's investing in the company. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, what's up, dude? Good to see you, man. DK says, ooh, that's some shit. Let's go, dude. He does surround himself with smart people, which is a smart move too. He's worth $500 million, $500 million right now. Fucking crazy. Shashbot says JDM versus Leon is confirmed. Who you got? We'll get on that. I'm high watching Joel Osteen. Oh man, he's a Low-key, he could be a demon. But so to wrap up on what I think is going to happen, and then I'll get to you, Shajwat, there, because interesting fight, is I think what we're going to see from the UFC, at least in the next 5-10 years, is a lot more biometric data for the fans. If you guys remember that one fight where, for whatever reason, one round they showed the resting heart rate of the fighters in between rounds, I think we'll see a lot more of that. And just a lot more, honestly, just a lot more cards that are overseas. I don't think the American market is necessary. Oh, later, bud. Oh, gosh. All my pens. I don't think the American market is necessarily the main focus. Kind of hasn't been for a hot minute, but it's really not going to be now, because Silver Lake is definitely a global entity, a global private equity entity, and they want to go where the money is, and we obviously all know where that is, and that's right now in Saudi Arabia, where that partnership was started. What was it? Basically 15 years ago now. So it's been a long time coming, and I do think that we'll still have the UFC product. I still think we'll get great fights. I do think as the UFC goes on, we'll see a lot more representation in the UFC that doesn't normally get touched on. You see this at Sharp. Why does Shock say you do Satanism? It's so annoying watching MMA Junkie and seeing him there. Yeah, he has me blocked. And I'm not. I have no idea why you think I do Satanism. Because Christ is king, and I'm pretty hardcore about how I feel about that. I'm against methamphetamine, which I guess that would make me Satan in his eyes. And I'm not even judging. I'm just saying that's just what it is. Random shit. Grimy says Fox Business is an odd channel. Let's go. It is though. DK says they'll do anything but fix the judges. Well, dude, so that's another thing. So this is how I feel on it. We'll just say football for this story, but really this is all professional sports, and we're going to see this really dialed in on the UFC. That's another thing. But with football, for example, like the referees are there to call the convenient calls when it's proper. The referees ensure that the game, in my opinion, goes how it should go. Okay. Because, this could sound conspiratorial, but it's literally real, and you can literally just go look it up. But college football, high school football, pee-wee football, those are classified as sports. NFL is defined as entertainment, sports entertainment, not just a sport. So they literally are allowed to use a magnetic glove because they're not a sport, and that is in the law. That's like really real. And there are companies that make these magnetic gloves. The footballs have these AWS sensors in them. It's not far-fetched to say that they have the magnets in them too, because how many balls hit the uprights just even 10 years ago in NFL, like maybe 1 to 2 a season. You get that fucking 8 times a week now. Okay. And if you've seen that one throw with Jalen Hurts, I think it was like 2 weeks ago when he threw the ball, it was like the ball pulled his hand, and it was the weirdest shit. He just went like fucking flipping to the ground. And I know it sounds crazy, but that's literally real shit. And so it's my opinion that not everybody on the football field is in this shit, but the people that you can bet on the sports book, I feel like they can get an earpiece that says, hey, maybe not do that. You know what I'm saying? Or, hey, whoa, don't get that tackle, or we're going to turn your gloves off on the crazier conspiracy, but that's real. You know what I'm saying? So it's my opinion that at the end of the day, the referees are there to ensure the proper outcome. So what we're going to see more and more of is the referees inside the UFC and the judges judging the fights. They're going to ensure the proper outcomes. more and more. And we're already starting to see that. And then if you look at the timeline, which I've only been betting UFC since 2024, which is basically just a year. Many of you guys have probably been betting it a lot longer than I have. I haven't really paid attention to judging like that until I've started betting UFC. So maybe you can, tell me if judging used to be as costly as it is now, if that makes sense. You know what I'm saying? Like, say if you were betting UFC 5 years ago, where the judge is fucking your money up as much as they are now. Lane says, got a cousin, works for FBN, still can't watch it. Oh, shit. Grimy, as long as we don't get any more weird 30-26s. Dude, that's the thing. They're playing 30-26s everywhere. I'm seeing them in the Euro leagues. Fucking, they had some in PFL Mania. Slew says NFL, MLB, NBA privately owned. Yeah, so, and that's the thing. It's probably owned by like a holdings group. Because like these groups here, and then the web that disperses, dude, they own all kinds of, like, literally they own PBR ones, they own all that shit, but they own racing shit, they own NBA teams, NFL teams, as far as just like majority shareholders in managing their funds. And it's just, like I said, it's a big web, small club. And then, like I said, this is just the tip of the iceberg. But when you get into who are on the boards of these companies and who have gone where and shit like that, that's where it really gets fucking mind blowing. Because like what I'm trying to say is, the people who are on the board to Endeavor are literally like deep state people, and I'm not even being conspiratorial. These are people who have been embedded in Washington, D.C. in key positions since like the Obama administration, that are now serving on a board of a company that's supposedly just for entertainment. You know what I'm saying? So it's like kind of a big deal, I think. You know what I mean? Pretty wild. Shajwat says, take Sean versus Marab as an example. Everyone had Sean. Still, he was only a slight favorite. Seems sketchy to me. Yeah, they conveniently can just like not fucking fight. Or, if you guys know it, we did the John Gone Spivak Tybura, shit. And it even carried on past Denise. It's fucking Denise's time, dude. He's gonna fucking sleep Petrino. You know what I'm saying? But we connected that. And to answer your question, JDM will beat Leon. Slew says, here are the estimated market caps based on the average team valuations. NFL with 32 teams and an average valuation of about $5 billion per team. The estimated market cap would be $160 billion. That's crazy. Silver Lake almost manages that much money. So they almost manage just as much as the entire valuation of the NFL. Grimy says the fact that fighters can have injuries that they don't disclose to the public allows us to bet that fighter is ridiculous. Yeah, dude. And here's the thing too, is like this isn't a commercial for the Discord, but this is one important reason to just kind of like be in the Discord if you got Discord. I set up all the fights on Fight App. So I literally know like within an hour or two when a fight's canceled. Usually I'm right on top of it. But just like for bumper's sake, I'm going to catch up with you guys. Hell, while my mouse is asleep. Damn, there you guys are. What's up, dog? In the Discord, I'll show when a fight has been removed. Just like I haven't checked it in a day, like at all today, because I've just been doing this. But last time I looked, Gustafsson and other dude, Yasmuz were still on Bet365's book. So you could still just load in the fuck up in a parlay if you weren't paying attention to the cancellations. And then come fight night, you're going to have void lines. So that's going to be shitty. Excuse me, but I totally agree, Grimy. I think that's fucked up. Slew says MLB with 30 teams and an average valuation of approximately $2.2 billion, the total market cap would be $66 billion. I got to tell you, I thought MLB was actually more money than the NFL. That's surprising. DK says, facts, grimy. That is some grimy shit. Let's go. NBA with 30 teams continues sleuth and an average valuation of about 2.86 billion. The total market cap would be 85.8 billion. Thank you for the clarification. Grok is pretty awesome. I agree. Kiwi says 100. I was big on one arm TJ. Yeah, dude. Lane asked, what kind of neck injury did Gustafsson have? So he didn't really disclose it, but it was, I guess, severe enough for people to speculate that he broke his neck. But he said that was fake news. And then I said that his Volkswagen SUV looked tough as hell, and he liked the comment. So I'm pretty sure we're like bros now, so that's pretty cool. Kiwi says it was on Derek Minor like a fool. Weren't we all? Grimy says Sean with a Tom Hip labrum against a wrestler like Marab, and no one knew is fucked up. Oh yeah, dude, they did that. They did that on purpose. Sean got paid big time. You see his big ass garage and his little fight league he started, his 2 Lambos. He's taken care of. Shajwa said Discord is lit. Did you see my 11-legger for you from UFC? No, I didn't, dude. Definitely share that again. DK says, and I was just about to buy a James Krause package before that minor fight. Dude, it's savage. And that's the thing, man, is it's literally a business. So like, and I say this shit all the time, but then when it comes time to make the bets, I'm like, I don't know. I just like black out and just go into like NPC mode. And I'm like, I'm going to bet fights on like what I really think is going to happen. And you can't bet on that, dude. It literally has to be like what needs to happen. One thing I see over and over again, and Elon Musk posts this all the time, is he says the outcome of anything is the most expected yet entertaining outcome. It's some shit like that. And he says it all the time like that. I've seen somebody screenshot it how many times he said it, and it's like over 100 times. So then, it's just kind of something that needs to like echo in the back of my head, especially seeing just like how tied in everybody is in here. So I'm sure the same mantra is ringing true in the other organizations that are tied in with Musk, and that mantra of, the most entertaining and expected outcome will be the outcome. Lane says Sharp getting the inside scoop. Yeah, dude, I've been on this for like a few days, low key. There's so many fucking names, and just shout out Yandex. Let's go Yandex. Fuck Google. I'm just kidding. I am literally kidding. I love Google. But Yandex is really sweet. But yeah, it's all business. Shajwa said, I think you replied to it saying there's a world where I see Almeida win. Okay, I did see that. I thought you were talking about one that you hit. I was like, dude, we need to put that up in the Hall of Fame. But yeah, I see a lot of people are on Almeida, and I'll just be honest with you. For some reason, I just like have not been impressed with Almeida at all. Like I don't know. I don't know if he's just like too confident in like his abilities, so he's like so laid back. But he's got to do something way different against Abdul, because he's just, man, he's a firecracker. And he wants to fight somebody bad, dude. I feel like he's like a little pent-up pit bull. That's what I'm betting on. Sleuth says EDR has a 4.2 million market cap. For it to be as big as the MLB at 66 big, that's a 4.6 times. If EDR hit 66 billion market cap 6 times, if it became as big as NBA now at 85.8, 11.25 times if it became as big as NFL now at 106. Bow. See what the current is of Silver Lake, who is the top dog, but we can't invest in Silver Lake because they're private equity. Slew says it will take a ton of money and new fans to pump the stock. Well, that's exactly why they're trying to get into the South African markets, the Asian markets. They know they got to expand. That's why we're seeing the first Indian fighter fighting in the UFC. We're just going to see more and more and more during it. You know what I'm saying? But sick ass numbers, Sleuth. Fucking throw down, dude. Dubs to Sleuth. You see this as Sharp? How important is it to dream during sleep, or it doesn't matter? So, dude, I haven't dreamed in like, I mean, a long time. I'm like years. I don't even know how long. Like years. When I go to sleep, I literally black out, and then I wake up, and it's like that. It's just Because dude, I can fall asleep like that Aoki dude. Like, I can literally fall asleep in like 15 seconds anywhere on anything in any position, as long as like my feet aren't above my head. So, like, I'll say, dude, dreams are probably very important, but I don't have them. Grammy says, I can't lie, that parlay that Pick'em hit on $10, that was sick. Slew says, I feel like football fans can be UFC fans, though, for real. They will be in time, dude, because the thing is Silver Lake, TKO, WME, IMG, UFC, and then the other, like, literally, like, probably 3,000 companies underneath that umbrella is tied in like a motherfucker to all this. So there's going to be more marketing, more like package deals for shit. There's going to be a lot of shit coming down the pipe for it, because essentially what Silver Lake is trying to do, and I'll pull it up if this thing glitches for a second. Just stand by. I'm pulling up this big ass Excel file. That's where I did all the work. So I'm going to read something real quick. Oh, let me scroll. Oh, hold on. Legendary. Let's go. Shajwat says, what do you think about over 1.5 in Ihor Medic and Almeida fight? Ihor fight, man, I'd be concerned of. Medic, I like. Almeida fight, again, for me being somebody who's taking Abdul, I think Abdul honestly can clap the fuck out of him, because I don't know. Maybe it goes a decision. But I see a lot of people thinking that it goes a decision. So I like that, because then they're going to let the knockout win. No, I'm just kidding, but I like him by knockout. So I like the under personally, but I do not like doing the unders. I'm an over man. Kiwi says, let's get the Anian market. Oh, I thought you were combining that. I attempted it. Hey, crossover. Good to see you, man. He said, what's up, baby sharp? Late night stream, always fire. Let's go, dude. Appreciate you, dude. Yeah, definitely go back and check out the history of the UFC leading up to, the different eras we got, who the key players are, and then how they've all come together here at the end. But so I'll just read you Endeavor's stock exchange bio. Endeavor is a global sports and entertainment company home to many of the world's most dynamic and engaging storytellers, brands, live events, and experiences. The Endeavor Network specializes in talent representation through entertainment agency WME, sports operations and advisory, event management, media production, and distribution and brand licensing through IMG, live event experiences, hospitality through On Location, full service marketing through Global Cultural Marketing Agency 160/90, sports data and technology through OpenBet. Endeavor is also majority owner of TKO Group Holdings, a premium sports and entertainment company comprising UFC and WWE. So again, Endeavor is above TKO. When I pulled these market shots earlier today, Endeavor was at 30.65. Their 5-year high was 35, so they're kind of at their high. Their 5-year low looks to be around like $17. But I honestly think they go up from here. This is where all their chickens are coming home to roost now. If you're interested, well, we'll go from lowest to highest. That's 30. TKO today was 141.81. Dude had so many helicopters flying over the house today. Got another one right now. And then Meta is 617.89. That's the big dog. Big ass helicopter. I don't know if I have the ADR on here. Damn, this thing is loud as hell. 1 second. I'm sorry. I got to see what the hell this is. It's like a big ass subwoofer. Hold on. I got no Wi-Fi on. I'm sorry. Stand by. I'm like literally curious as hell. Like what this is. La, da, 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 da. It's like one more second. I'm sorry. I'm just like very curious as to what that was. So I'm gonna say military. Again, yeah, Airbus military. I don't know what's up with that today. It's usually like a civilian shit. But yeah, so that's the whole meat and potatoes. If you guys are interested in a way more boring side of who the movers and shakers in the back scene of all this shit, because I'm talking like, dude, like, okay, just to give you a sample of what I'm talking about. This is just to the people who own UFC. And I'm gonna catch up with you guys in the comments. My bad. I see that thing's moving. But you've got City Football Group, Dell Technologies, Group 42, Motorola, Qualtrics, Twitter, Unity, WM Mayor, Verily, Waymo, TEG, Michael Castle Group, Australian Professional Leagues, Ambassador Theater Group, City Football Group again, Uber, IHS Holdings, Tenio Holdings, Integrum Holdings, Vion, Xerox, and then you've got the U.S. Department of Commerce Advisory Council on Supply Chain Competitiveness. Like, that's somebody I'm going to check out low key because that's what I'm about to graduate in. People from Ford, people from MIT, the Mayo Clinic, the Metropolitan Museum. This Ursula Burns lady was appointed by Obama to lead the White House National Program on STEM. Fucking genius. But these people are working in the White House. You know what I'm saying? Square Bank, Lead Bank, Yahoo, Affirm Holdings, New Bank, TaskUs. And this is just like literally 3 people on the board. These people are on the board to so much shit. So when I say like they literally are like the monopoly, that is a monopoly that will not get demonopolized. Like they are moving into a position to just like literally have a hand in everything. You know what I'm saying? Shajwat says Abdul Jubilee tried to create a lot of hype just to get TK'd by C-level fighter in his debut. It happens. Hey, yeah, DK, share that. I don't know why my voice, me reading just got all fucked up there. Slew said that's true. The UFC has potential to be more worldwide versus. It definitely does, man. Because and as long as they don't do the one shit, I don't want them to like separately do like Thai and shit. Just mix it all together. If they bring in Thai fighters and shit, that's a whole other thing. Shajwat said he went on a crash podcasting streak here in India before his debut to create some hype and then shitted the bed. Let's go. Kiwi says Short needs to win to keep him on the front lines. Ehor told me on Twitter that if he loses, he's cut from the UFC. So he needs this win, like, because his job literally depends on it. Grimy, that shit sound like Prestige Worldwide, dude. They are, because I'm just, that's not even everybody on the board or what they do. One of the people, okay, if you guys remember the Social Security shit that we covered, and the number on the back of that, and the Federal Reserve banks, one of the people on the board to Endeavor is also on the board to the Federal Reserve Bank of San Francisco. When I said the fucking web is crazy, I'm talking about the web is crazy, dude. Crazy. Like, I don't even understand how all these people work together and give a fuck about UFC other than it could be a moneymaker and a possible way to like shape society some type of way. Because the one thing that I'm noticing, earlier we mentioned like Facebook is taking away you getting strikes for talking about the alphabet community. Society is starting to pull away from being PC. So the UFC being like one of those companies that is like the least PC sports organization, especially out there, they could kind of be used as like a what's the word I'm for lack of a better term, just like a social tool to like just help bring in certain types of thinking patterns and shit like that. On some deep shit. Shajwa says, I think Ehor is a tough son of a bitch and he will survive the early onslaught, but it's definitely a weird one to bet on. Man, the thing is I was going to try to send Ehor some like insider shit. You know, like, dude, I watched every single one of his fights step by step. Blah, blah, blah. I cannot find anything where dude is bad, where Tulio is bad at. Like, I literally can't. He's very balanced, focused, light on his feet for a big guy, has a mix of strikes, has BJJ experience, and like isn't even using it yet. So that's just there in the back pocket. Keeps his guard up real nice. And Ehor, you know, he's working on his striking defense, but, you know, in fights past, that's been an issue. And I don't know, man. I want Ehor to win, but holy shit, talk about a David and Goliath fight. Salute says, I can't really find many bets I like for this card. I feel you. We'll probably play some long shot parlays and dogs and preserve the bankroll for 311. I feel it. And he's high as fuck. Let's go. Let's go. I wish I had my soundboard. Wait. The presentation is over. Please stand by. This will be worth it. I hope so. Dude, guys, you got to let me know if the sound works. The soundboard. Because last time it did not work. So last episode, I was over here just laughing my ass off to these sounds. And they weren't being played. So no, I was just looking fucking derped. Okay. All right, so testing. Let me know if this sounds up. Affecting the broadcast. Okay, we're good? Boom. Okay. So now I had to skip down to see if we were good. Okay, let me go back up real quick. I'm going to catch up with you guys real fast. Bam, $17 was just before they settled the fighters' composition lawsuit. What a great time to get in. Shajwa said, facts, Vegas is not a card to put good money on. Sketchy card all around betting-wise. I personally like a few dogs on it, for real. Not even just on some, like, long shot hopeful shit. I think with the 2 or 3 weeks that we've had leading up to coming to this UFC event, people have just been bored as shit with money to burn in their sportsbook accounts. They're just fucking hammering favorites. I'm specifically talking about Fatima Klein. I like legit think Dudikova can beat her. Legit. The odds are crazy to me. Because I think she gets it. I have a unit on her just alone, just her. Not even a half unit, like fucking nuts on the table. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, Dana's Dungeon. This is a weird card, though. He's cooked. Slew says they IPO'd at 24 a share, up only 10% since the stock was released. Still pretty early. That's my favorite part, Shark to Puppet Masters. Trump is going to pump the stock. Well, that's what I'm saying, dude. So I showed you guys that there has been a relationship, even just business-wise, established between, you know, Trump, Musk, these big, huge billionaire key players in these private equity firms. So when Trump gets in, he's going to make sure his boys win. Boys being guys like TKO, Endeavor, Silver Lake, even though we can't invest in Silver Lake. And then, like I said, you know, if you get into all the shit these guys are into, I literally don't see, unless they just sell the fuck off to somebody, how it doesn't just keep going for a long time. I have a feeling Endeavor is going to be like that group. I don't think anybody's quite done it like they're doing it, like for real, on the level that they're doing it. And the people that they have on their board, like I'm saying, that dude, it like, you cannot get any smarter. I'm telling you. Like I've researched the people on the board, what they did, where they came from, what they're representing. And that's the thing too. is so you've got a company and just talking about how the social, society is moving away from maybe being so PC. You've got a guy like Ari Emanuel who's very brash, very not PC like at all. Literally has these like public spats with Dominic Cruz and shit on Twitter and shit all the time, and just talks massive shit. It goes back and forth. Literally not PC at all, and he's like CEO of a bunch of this shit. So the company culture within the Silver Lake Endeavors, TKOs, pop, 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 is not the one of social justice warrior shit. So that's a dub. You know what I'm saying? Because the world doesn't need to be so soft. We don't need to be crazy. Oh, my shit's been blocking you, DK. No. Okay, never mind. I thought you... Okay. But I had that shit pulled up.
This is a certified hood classic.
It has been, you know what I'm saying? Most people do the reports like this. They do the recording, all that shit, man. But we're just going to do it live. You know what I'm saying? Not really any crazy. This isn't going to be a UFC pick stream necessarily, but I did want to do like a concise, just deep dive on the brand and company that we all love so much and bet our money on every weekend. So for me personally, not advice or a recommendation, just what I'm doing. I will definitely be turning profits into Endeavor. Fucking pump it up. So Endeavor, if you're listening, just I'm putting my money back into you. So don't fuck me. You know what I'm saying? Like they've got the power. That's all I'm saying. No heavy faves in WMMA. Facts, dude. I think some dogs will be barking too as well, Pepino. Freeze the grapes before they go to bed. Let's go. DK says, I love to know the ROI on WMMA UFC fights last year. I'm almost sure BetMMA.tips would have that. Yeah, I like Cagliari as well, you see, Liz. I think she's a very competent dog because the thing is with old girl, the other one, not Cagliari, but or Nickel Kicker, that one. She's just like a really awkwardly built, framed lady. And when you got somebody little like Cagliari, dude, she can just come in there and just like, she can cause some damage. And dude, her arms are fucking stacked, dude. I'm telling you, she can fucking swing, I bet. Like I'm talking, she could get on her and swing and hurt her. So I got my money on her too. Charles Watt said, Cagliari won me good money on Contender Series. Let's go. I think she won via sub in first round as a dog. She that dog. DK says, let's go for real. W deep dive. Appreciate it, dude. Yeah, so I'm glad you guys enjoyed it. I wasn't sure if this would be something that, would be titillating like that. I sure as hell found it very interesting, though. I learned a lot. And overall, just to again reiterate, is the UFC cooked? It's not. But we have to be more conscientious of the product that it is going to become, that it has already started to become and will continue to evolve into. And maybe with, our sports book investments, start playing to that side a little bit more. Not necessarily like, every time what the best marketing win would be for UFC and shareholders. But at the end of the day, if any of you guys have gone to business school or taken a business class, the most important thing to any business is creating profit for the shareholders. So at the end of the day, that's what the goal is. And all I can say is seeing the depth of personnel involved with these companies, they do not, there's no way. I mean, no, I'll knock on it. The only way that they don't win is because they literally choose not to, and they just destroy it themselves for whatever reason. That's literally it. So like to me, and I'm not, it's not advice. I'm not a stocks guy. I'm just saying, I believe in that company. And obviously, if you look at the numbers, just to kind of reflect back on something, when they bought, when when Lorenzo, the Furtado brothers, and Dana, well, they put the money up, but when they bought UFC in 2001, that was $2 million. 7 years later, that was a $1 billion company in only 7 years off of a $2 million investment. That is fucking crazy. So they can definitely, and that's just, at that time, that was really just the American market. You know what I mean? So there's so many countries they're not in yet like that. I mean, they probably illegally stream there, but once they really tap into the market, I mean, they're already a $1 billion company. So maybe they could be one of the first, maybe at the top Silver Lake, it could be one of the first companies to like be a $1 trillion company in this type of market, the sports entertainment, pop culture market like this, like on a year to year annual take in. Because that's what they're setting themselves up for. And like I said, you got people from the Federal Reserve, from the White House, all these other companies that are just like literal top of the chain, Fortune top 10 type shit. Titans, dude, that's the word. They're all titans in their field. But yeah, dude, glad you guys appreciated that and liked it, dude. That's sick as shit. Shout out to said W stream, although I joined late. Yeah, watch it, dude. I think you will enjoy it. Slu says, I can't believe the biggest pay-per-view was 2018 McGregor versus Khabib. I totally can, man. And that's just kind of like a tease of what kind of success the UFC can have. Because that's what, 6 years, 7 years ago. It's only going to be more, man. They're going to have more stars. They're working on it now. And honestly, I think that's why, we get, I won't say so many, but we get the WWE type moments in the UFC from time to time where they let the fighters in the cage, or, maybe some of the altercations are a little more like staged, I guess would be the word. So they could sell it, hype it up. You got fighters turning heels randomly and like really diving into that. And it's to drive the sales and shit. It's all big business now, man. Kiwi says EDR does pay a dividend too. Fucking Merry Christmas, dude. That's the one, dude. If you love a product, you invest in a product. And if you love the UFC, that is, I mean, TKO owns UFC, but EDR owns TKO. You know what I'm saying? You want the parent company. Lane, hey, facts. Appreciate your work and dedication. Well, Dubs, let's go. Slew says you should look into the Fertitta brothers. They own casinos, and their family has always been casino owners. Yeah, dude, that's we touched on that a little bit. That's what so like the main focus of this dive for me and following trails and shit was really Dana White was the focus, and then if there were key people like Elon Musk, for example, that I thought were worth highlighting just to kind of show a connection, a larger connection, because you've seen Elon and Trump go to the UFC events and shit like that. So they're there with each other. You know what I'm saying? And what I didn't do was really dive in extra hard on the Fertitta brothers or the 4 or 5 dudes who own Silver Lake. I've got their names. But I haven't even done the dive into them yet. I just did the dives on the board, and I was like, shit, if I'm going to do this episode tonight, I've got to stop, and I've got to try to put this PowerPoint together. And I was running a little late, but we closed it. Lane says, bottom line, we're all in on EDR. Personally speaking, yes, I am, because not only do they have UFC, they have WWE, which is a huge, huge thing in itself. And I'm talking like hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of other companies underneath them. Looking into their portfolio is worth it, because it's not just the companies that they directly have majority in, then it's the companies underneath those that they also have majority in that are parented to the company. I mean, dude, they're doing it right. It's a crazy web, and I like it. Slew says kind of conflicting how they own a lot of the UFC too. Yeah, they own it, Endeavor owns it. So that's the thing. Like, so when the merger happened, TKO is basically just, for lack of better, you could almost call it a shell. It's basically just a face of what they're doing. But Endeavor completely bought out all shares of Zuffa, who owned UFC at the time. And then also owning the groups that own WWE and shit, used their own money to pay their own company to buy their own company shares with their own money to their other company, if that makes sense. And it sounds confusing at the same time, because that's literally what happened. They just have their own huge fucking slush fund moving in between like hundreds of companies, and it's just, they're just going to keep that baby rolling. You know what I'm saying? So I see what you mean conflicting, but honestly, it's like their whole mantra. Like, they really want to own the entire market of sports, entertainment, and everything that has to do with it, from the hospitality to the fucking food to the merchandise to the tickets, the sales, the locations, the venues, the athletes, the management, everything. That's their goal. These are the guys. Pretty crazy shit. Lane says Trump's been doing that for years, though, just been getting a lot of attention last several years. Well, you know, they're on record saying they've been friends for 20 years, basically since the first UFC event was held at the Taj Mahal. So yeah, they are, you know, they have a relationship of their own. And that's something that I'm actually like really interested in. You know, I know it was just a casino. I don't know how hard it was to get an event booked there. Actually, okay, now that we're just kind of spitting it out, it probably wasn't hard at all, because the Furtado brothers owning that casino, chain of casinos, probably already knew Trump on that. So that's boom. That's literally boom. That's where that was right there. That's how he got connected to be able to get into the Taj Mahal in the first place. Sick shit, dude. That is sick. So yeah, EDR, run it up. You know what I'm saying? But I guess with that, guys, this will be the conclusion of the Wednesday special report. If you guys are interested, I might throw the PowerPoint thing that I made up on Discord, just in case you guys don't want a super just fucking wordy, boring, you know, deep dive on 60 people. You can look into my PowerPoint thing and just kind of see the names of the companies and shit like that. And if you're interested, you know, you can just run off and do your own thing. I'll probably put that up in the Discord just for shizzies and giggies. But with that being said, I'm super appreciative of you guys coming out, checking out this new little thing here. I don't know how often I'll do something like this, but I was like, shit, hopefully I don't fuck it up. Let's make it good. Keep it concise. And I'm glad you guys enjoyed it. You know what I'm saying? So big W to the best community in the MMA community by far. The Shiver is top ranked everywhere. S tier shit. It's literally no coincidence, because there is no such thing as a coincidence that S tier, Shiver, both start with an S. Makes my heart beat harder just saying it out loud. How beautiful was that? Let's go. Guys, though, with that, I'm gonna do this and that and this and